Well, good morning. Welcome back to Big Girl Hunters. I hope you guys all had a good New Year. It's what is the date today? Actually, let's have a look. It is Saturday the 10th of January. So it's a weekend. I've got a couple of nights ahead of me. I've got Saturday and hopefully Sunday night, depending on this weather. It's very, very rainy, very windy. It's very warm actually. There's a strong southwesterly blowing in. Let's have a look. What have we got? Temperature wise? So it's 12 degrees. So double figures, which is ridiculous for mid-Jan. Really warm. Although it's blowing an absolute hoolie. It's been pissing it down. I got absolutely soaked. You'll see. I'll show you how windy it is out there. Managed to get 2 rods out. Got my new reels out. The old tournament 6,000 T's, baby. I don't know if you can see that. Got so soaked that just hanging out, trying to dry off the outside of it. So yeah, this is the swim I'm in. It's a swim, fun enough, that I've never actually been able to get on it before. It's a really popular swim. It's called Graveyard, and we've got the island. I've had a few fish off the island fishing from Rat Sally, where that bloke is over. See if we can zoom in on him. Where is he? Over here, spying on a couple of lads there. Look. That is how. Cool, it's impressive zoom on this new camera I've got. A couple of lads there, a couple of Ringwood locals, and that's a good 200 plus yards, maybe even more, 300 yards out over there. So we've got a guy over here as well. There's quite a few guys along the rope there that fishing all to the rope. So these are the boys that you would have sort of seen me talk to you about. This is the island. Just off the right of it. Or should I say just off the left of it. Just to see if I don't know if my fingers will get in the view. Just there is where I'm going to have one about there. Another one spread out, a couple of spoms. Obviously if this wind dies down. So yeah, all along this margin here. Going to try and get one tight along here. Or close enough. A few spots over the top. It's all depending on whether this wind will die down, because at the moment. So yeah, there we go. That's the swim. Like I said, it's a very popular swim. Lots of features to go at. You've got very deep water along here. You've got some gullies. You've got, let's say, margin. It's a shame that the weather is. Obviously, it's warm, so I really do fancy it. And I'm right in the face of this wind. It's not a cold wind. It's just a very heavy wind. Like I say, it feels cock on for a bite. You do have to bear in mind it is still January, so they're obviously still going to be a little bit hit and miss with what they're. I'm just seeing. Oh, it's a coot. But yeah, so I'm going to bosh out a bit of a mix and see what's. I'm here for a couple of nights. I'm going to put a little bit of bait on them. Using my plan was just in the daytime to really, maybe try some little zigs or, just whack out a couple of stiff hinges or troddies or whatever. But when it really is this windy, the undertow, I'm sure the troddies wave a little bit, and they must just see that and be like, mug. But you never know. But these have been doing me a few bites recently. 10mm, they're CC more bait, but they're glugged up in this, which absolutely stinks. Charles, cock on for the, if you like your rigger. I'm sure this will be getting good for the chub and for the barbel. There we go. The old garlic goo. They've been glazing there, but it really does smell stink. It smells like with this sort of spicy smell that's in these as well. It smells a bit like your old chili sauce. Chili sauce salad, my friend. Cheese on the burger, mate. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm you know, buzzing to get my first fish out of my water for this year. I've had 4 blank nights now throughout the winter for carp. So you know, and every time I go, it seems to be. I mean, I lost that fish right before Christmas, which was gutting. And now all that's over. You know, the weather was really bang on for that. And if I'm going to get a chance, it's going to be now because the temperature, the pressure is lowest that it's been for a while. It's very warm. You know, we've had some very cold weather. You know, I was never going to catch in a frozen lake, even at Old Harbour Manor. So that's really awesome. You know, got some great news. You know, I was asked to, you know, if I was interested in joining a tackle company, you know, as a consultant, having a few bits. Obviously, something I never really started, or I didn't start this to do that sort of thing. I mean, you know, fishing, you know, it is my passion. It always has been since, you know, I was about 5. So, you know, I was buzzing. You know, be really excited. So look out for lots of rig videos and bits and bobs featuring some really impressive products. So, you know, really buzzing to be a part of the old BMG baby and BMG tackle. So that'd be cool. I hope you guys are doing it as good as, well, I wouldn't say as good as me. I'll be doing better than me because I ain't doing well. I haven't started this year. This winter has been a bad winter for me for fishing wise. Autumn cracking, spring cracking, summer cracking, but this winter. My mate Jonah, he's over it. He's been off the back of when he did last night. He hasn't had anything. So there we go. So hopefully I'm in for better luck. So there we go, tight lines. Woo! That's what you call some wind, baby. Almost looks like waves there. You'd have thought that was the sea. Be like, oh look, he's doing a bit of sea fishing. He doesn't look happy. Got the old gas cooker there though. I don't blame you, mate. Jesus Christ, it's horrible weather. I don't know if you can see through there. There's the other lake. That's what we call the half pit, with some of Hampshire's finest carp in there. I think it's about 25 acres, but only about, well, some of the lads that fish all the time, they reckon there's only about 20 fish in there, 20 carp. A couple of 40s, some really nice, big, really nice looking fish in there. And I'm going to see my mate Dave.
Yeah, you got that as well, ain't you? Yeah, you are, yeah.
It's Hollywood star Jonah Hill. He's actually taken up fishing.
You what? No. Well, I'll give you another call later, I will. Right,
fishing a swim I fished
and you, love you. Right.
a month or so ago.
Yeah, I'll give you a call later.
Your rod's out?
Yep.
First one, struggling.
Eventually.
Right guys, now I'm going to knock up another quick little sort of winter mix, similar to the ones that I've been showing you. Slight few changes. So if you start off first, going in with the ever faithful nut cracker. This is a fresh pack. I'm going to crush some up. So it's real fine. You get a couple of those. 3 of those. And this one I'm going to do just slightly so there's a bit more chunks. A bit more like that. A few bigger bits. Next. This is slightly better than my normal pick of the crop sweet corn. All the juices going in there. Do probably half a tin. Next, the old 10 millers from CC Moore. And then a final, well, not final, but yeah, this is a. Okay, don't want to cut my hands again. Come on, there we go. So I've got a tin of tuna. This one is in brine. Obviously, I like the oil, but this time of year, this is normally the kiss of death on here, the tuna, because of the bream and the catfish, but they're all quiet, so I reckon there's nothing more attractive to fish than tuna. They absolutely love it. Nope. And then final, just a bit of salt. This time of the year they love it. Winter, spring. Sea salt, there we go. There's the finished product. Absolutely stinks. I'll probably put a little bit more nutcracker in, but yeah, that's it. Get on it. Well, good morning again. Quick update. What has happened again? Nothing. Another blank night. That's my 5th blank night now. Not obviously, not in a row, but in a in different sessions. I've been just doing the night sessions through the winter rather than the doubles. I am going to do a double night tonight, although it's not looking promising. There was a fish caught last night. I think it was around 11 o'clock-ish, right down the other end. In swim they caught 2 up by a guy named Dan. Yeah, had a nice 25 mirror, so good angling. Next to the swim where I had that, lost that fish a couple of weeks ago before Christmas. It does appear, well, I've seen a few of them in range showing right at the back, and it seems they're stacked up like that, sardines. And this where I am would be normally they're on their route as they come round to. So this is normally a good trap, but when they're just not moving in the winter, yeah, you can't catch them if they're not in front of you, and that it doesn't matter what rigs you've got, what bait you've got, you cannot catch them if they're not in front of you. So. I'm a little bit down about them, starting to feel a bit of that angling depression. It's been way over a month since I've had a ringwood carp in my hands. So what do I do? I mean, I chose this winter rather than what I'd normally do in the winter is go off. I mean, I had that one session at top of my mind, but go off and just do a couple of night sessions. Do my nights, do my bit in January and in February and December at Runswater. but I've decided to stick it out on the main water to catch, obviously, after that target when it's at its biggest weight. So, you know, the water isn't easy at best of times. And this time of year, you know, like it can be you know, you're more likely to see a bloody pig flying through the air than what you are carp showing over some areas in this lake at this time of year. So, but all it takes is that one run, and you've got the winter beauty. But it you know, it is difficult. I'm sort of having a look at myself and thinking, well, maybe next week I'll go down to a run's water and just get a bend in my rod, or do I stick it out? I'm obviously going to stay the night here. You know, like yesterday I was walking around looking for fish, but they're all stacked down the bottom, and every swim is taken down there. It's obvious. So that's that. I mean, good indication of. I mean, that island, the fish are always known to be around the island, but a good indication of nothing's happening there on my spot. Mr. There he is, look. He's diving all morning. Here he is. See if we can get him diving. I don't know what he's looking at. Maybe he's spooking, maybe there is some... Oh, he's got a friend. But he's been diving... Well, he was diving like an hour ago. There we go. That's right on my spot where my bait is. I've got one basically where he is, and then one right tight to the corner there. And again, diving. So people, you know, people moan about the bird life on here, but you know, it's a good key, because I've had it before where, you know, I've put a lot of bait out and they're diving, and all of a sudden they spook off it, and then you get a bite. You know that they're diving like mad all over my. And to be honest, I only put out about 10 sponfuls of small board. You saw the mix that I put out, so it's not a lot of bait, so it hasn't been touched. But here he is, look. So, there we go. Is that a couple of tufties over there? Look. So it's that swim there. Dan, who has had the bite. So fair play. And you see, it's all the way over there. The wind's a lot calmer, so it looks like we might be able to obviously cast in. I'm going to leave mine in until midday. I know I would whack out some zigs, but there's no point. There's now a guy over on this swim, but he must have got there last night. Because he wasn't there yesterday. On the one we call caravans. Right down there, bottom corner. That's where all the fish are. And if you see how the lake, it whips round and then they come round this way. So if it stays warm, you never know, they might move around. I might have a chance, but I doubt it. Liam hasn't had anything. What are you cooking? Sausages. Jonah over here Where is he? Over there. You can see him. Around there somewhere. He hasn't had anything either, so there ain't no fish down this side of the lake. If there is, they ain't feeding. There we go. Well, got the rods back out. I'll show you where those rods are. To be honest, just, I waited till about 2 o'clock to get the rods out. It has been, oh no, rattling. It has been pretty calm today, so I left them out and brought them in and thought, get them in position early. And then the wind just got right up back yesterday, so it was a bit of a nightmare getting the rods back out. But they're all back out. I'll show you the rig that I'm using on all three. You would have seen this rig before. I'll show you how to tie it again at some point. Loving this rig. So you can see that there. We've got, it's a fluorocarbon like D rig, and it's some people use just the micro swivels. I like micro ring swivels. I don't know if you see that. Just gives it that extra bit of movement. There's a 10 mil boilie just with a little. So I have that bit. Sometimes I have a little pop-up bit of corn on there, and a little dumbbell just makes it a bit more buoyant than the corn, and it sits like that on the bottom. Just like that, just waiting to. So yeah, there's the rig. Have a sinker about halfway through it, so I'd say it's about 12 inches. 15-pound IQ. I mean, this is a 15-pound fluorocarbon, and also have anti-tangle sleeve as well. I'm more than happy to fish this even in sort of silt. I know that might seem a little bit mad. I make sure I hit the clip and feather it down, and it, that the sinker helps kick it away with the balance bait, and it will sit on top of silt. And sometimes I use a bit of foam, but that's the rig. I've got one on a nutcracker dumbbell, just chopped in half, tipped with a bit of yellow. One with one of these boilies tipped with white, and then one with just a single grain of corn with a little PVA stick on it, because they've got a little stick mix on the go. But yeah, like I said, it's this will be my 6th night. Not obviously on the row. If I don't catch anything tonight, that'll be my 6th blank of the winter. It's starting to get a bit, wearing me down a little bit, I must say. I mean, I know 6 doesn't sound like much, but I was really starting to bag up and catch a few. Bear in mind, it is January. I've got to cut myself a little bit of slack, but still, I want to catch some fish. So we'll see what happens. I'm just waiting it out to try and get one of the decent ones in the winter. When they come out, tends to be the big girls, and at their nicest looking, and so all it takes is that one run and you got it. But there we go. And you see, with this, if I turn this down, everyone does this little palm test thing. Seems to be the thing to do. You see, this just turns every single time. Drag it along, bang, and it seems to turn a little bit before on sort of where some of them turn here. So it turns on this little bit here, right, and it's always now bottom lip, quite in every time. And again there. So you go, let's get this right, along, bang. That is razor sharp, but yeah. So there we go. Maybe next session I'll get out on the runs. Well, I just need a bend in the rod at this point. I haven't had a fish since November, We're now in Jan now, 10th of Jan I think. So it's been a month and a bit now. I think the end of December was the last time I caught one. So, or a lot, end of November. So there we go. Let me show you where the actual rods are. Bear in mind, I apologise for this wind. It's rattling. Whoa, the sun. See that? Again, wind. So right at the back here. So between that tree and there, I've got it right tight in there, clipped it up. It's quite a chug. It went right in there because they like to come along and patrol that margin. You see, it's quite a chug. So there, got one off the last one that you can get to. I've got one, about 2 rod lengths off that over there. One. Oh, the wind. Off the island where I put that bait yesterday. Where they've stopped diving on it, so either there's fish around or there's no bait. But I'm not putting any bait out today or tonight. I'm just flushing out some things there. Even the birds are struggling to swim there. Look. That is pushing in. Let's see what it's doing over here. Wind is pushing my hand, sorry. I'm not sure who that is. I think it's Dave, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Right, back home now. It's a bit of a crazy couple of days. It's, to be honest, I think it's probably been one of the worst sessions I've ever had. Just miserable. The most ridiculous. I knew it was strong southwesterly winds there. But I'd never predicted it would be that strong. And I was right. Basically, I'm sure it would have been fine from Sunswim. So where my mate Jonah was fishing, but I was right in the face of it, which I thought was a good thing. So yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. Just all night and pissing it down the day before and just set up, and it was just the wind, hard to get the rods out. You know, it would calm down and you thought, I'll get the rods out, and then it would just pick up. It, you know, trying to cast 100 to 120 yards out in that wind like that is just so hard to, without a big old bow. It's a bit of a nightmare. But you know, so I did manage one this morning, which I was buzzing at. I packed up everything, part of the rods. I've done, you know, the first 2 rods. I've just basically packing away into the rod holder, and the one left in ripped off, and it was a nice little common. Camera, phone, everything else was all packed away up the top of the swim, waiting to go in the car. And so I sort of unhooked. It was a nice little common, probably maybe scrape of £12, maybe not even 10, but it's just a nice little, you know, probably one of the smallest fish in the lake. But there we go. It's my first fish. Shame I couldn't get any footage. It'd be nice. I was rushing off to it, so now I'm home, and then now I'm obviously rushing off to work. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the session. Like I said, it is still early January, so I was lucky to get a bite. I was starting you know, I feel a little bit more confident now. I've had a fish starting to break me down a little bit. You know, I'm really sort of after one of the bigger ones, and we'll see what happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and keep up the fishing, and I hope you're not getting too much of the winter blues like me. I hate it this time of the year. I think next session, I'm going to jump on the lake across the road on the wash pit and see if I can have out a few fish just for a laugh, and just get a bit more bend in the rod, and just enjoy it really, because at the moment it's not too enjoyable. If I'm not going to a frozen lake, I'm going to ridiculously fast winds where it's pulling up the pegs of your bivvy. You can't cast out. It's just a nightmare. You can't see anything. Not that there's anything showing, but you can't see anything when there's big old waves in the water. But yeah, so look out for that. Hopefully, I have a couple of bites. So thank you for all the likes and subscribes and all the messages and that. Keep them coming. And this, I'm hopefully it's going to be a good year. And I'll have some big fish and some proper ones for you coming up, some point soon. Right, well, tight lines.